Good afternoon. This is a special edition of Political Paula to further discuss the immigration issue. Now, I'm not going to go back over what we did on the show yesterday because immigration and how you feel about it has kind of become the new abortion issue. You're either for it, you're against it, there's no in between, and everybody has their own opinions for their own reasons, and I respect that. I do. But this show, I thought I would remind anyone who thinks that Americans have it so great, and if you just get onto American soil, it's utopia. Life is going to be perfect. So I thought I would use this show, and again, I speak English, so if it has to be translated into Spanish, you can hit primo y dos for español, whatever you do. Or any other language, by the way, because bienvenidos a America doesn't necessarily mean welcome. Okay? Life in America can be extremely hard. Ask American parents who put their children to bed with empty stomachs. Ask American parents who don't have good health insurance, who can't pay for illnesses when they get sick. Let me just explain to those of you who think America is so perfect. Now, am I glad I'm an American? Yes, I am. I'm proud to be an American. But it is not easy street. It is not easy to make it in America. Ask the 15,000 employees of General Motors who will no longer have jobs because their plants closed after sweating and bleeding and working hard for the company for decades. They're out on the street. And some of them, because they worked there for so long, they have no other job skills but what they have been doing for the past 20, 25 years, 30 years. This close to retirement, out, plants closing. This can happen. But let's talk about things that you may not think about. You may be running from a country where you don't have clean drinking water. Hello. I have lived in the same house, in the same city, in the same state, all of my life. And all of a sudden, in the past couple of years, we can't drink the water that comes out of our spigots. We can't drink it. We can't even give it to our dog. Okay? It smells and tastes like a swimming pool because they're putting so many chemicals, so much chlorine in the water. We have to go to the grocery store and buy bottled water, and that's not cheap. And think about how much water someone drinks in a week, especially when you have a dog or a bunch of kids. And you can't drink the water. That, by the way, just in case you don't know, when you turn on the tap water in America, that water's not free. I get a quarterly bill for water. You pay for the water that comes out of your spigot, not just the hot water. You pay to heat the water with whatever heating element you have, your hot water heater, whether it's electric or gas, and then you pay for that. And you also pay a water bill from the city you live in. And that water is not safe to drink. You can't give it to your children. You can't give it to your pets. You have to go out and buy other water while you're still paying for the crap water that comes out of your spigot. You think your kids are going to get a beautiful public free education. Well, no, not exactly. Let me just tell you, millions of Americans send their children to private schools. Why? Because public school education sucks in a lot of places. I just want to say that my high school didn't prepare me for college. I was done with college in one semester. Some of you will say that's your fault because a lot of my fellow classmates did end up going to college. But here's the thing. I had options in high school. I was able to take creative needlework and paperbacks for pleasure or basket weaving and get graduation credits. So I didn't take AP History or AP English. I didn't take chemistry. I didn't take uh, trigonometry and all the crazy math that you need to succeed in college. I didn't take the fancy science classes. I took the easy way out because I was allowed to. Now, if those classes hadn't been available for graduation credits, I would have been forced to take the harder classes, the ones that would have prepared me for college. But because I was able to get credit to sit at needlepoint for 45 minutes every day or read a book of my choice for 45 minutes every day, well, who the hell wouldn't? I did it, and I wasn't prepared for college. So don't think your kids are going to get a great education. That depends on your kids, for one part. And don't think the education is free, because I'm going to talk to you all about what happens if you get into America, good for you, and you succeed. See, then you got all kinds of responsibilities. And those responsibilities are called taxes. Yeah, taxes. If you are fortunate enough to own property, to buy your own home, yay, good for you, atta boy, atta girl. Bienvenido. Here's the problem. You own a house, you're going to pay school tax and real estate tax. The government's going to come in and say, good for you, you own a house, now you owe us money. And whether you have children in the school district or not, you are going to pay taxes for the school district where you live, regardless if you use the school district or not. We have elderly people in America who are losing their homes because they can't afford the school taxes and they don't have kids in school. They're 60, 70, 80 years old. No kids in school. They have to pay school taxes. And if you send your child to private school, you get to pay public school taxes anyway. They don't care. So you have two bills, the private school bill and the school tax bill. And then, oh, you got a good job. You made it into America. You became a citizen. Oh, good for you. Now, the government's going to come in. You're going to go to work every day. You're going to earn money. You're going to work hard. You're going to take the overtime. You're going to spend time away from your family. And the government's going to come in. The government that never worked for the money. They didn't earn the money. But they're going to come take it. 33%. And you're going to pay the federal government. They're going to take your hard work earnings. The state government's going to take your earnings. The local government's going to take your earnings. And they're going to give it to whoever they think needs it. They're going to give it to strangers, people you will never meet. They're going to use it to go to wars you don't agree with. That's America, folks. Just so you know before you come in. You're running from gang violence and violence in your own country. Do you know that in America, our children are not safe in our schools? Children are murdered in their schools. Children are murdered at movie theaters. Children are murdered when they go to concerts. Your children aren't all that much safer here than they are in your own country. Depending where you choose to settle and live, there are drive-by shootings. 11-year-old girl shot and killed because a drug dealer was collecting a debt and shot into the building that she lived in, and she was the one who got killed. You think the police are corrupt in your country? Well, look at our news. Watch the news here. Police shoot innocent people all the time in America. Now that also is because some people in America have not been raised by their parents to respect authority. But you can be reaching in your pocket for your ID or your cell phone. Cop sees a gun or thinks it's a gun, he's going to shoot you dead. So you can be killed here, too. We have people in our country who go out for a jog and never come home. They are raped and murdered 5 blocks from their house. We have little children, young girls, who are molested by their school teachers, by their doctors. We have that here. When we see the magazine cover of Donald Trump torturing a little child. You know, I want to know again, as I always do, where are the parents? These parents know enough about the United States and about Donald Trump's administration that they are not wanted here, and yet they packed up their kids with just the clothes on their back, took them away from everything they've ever known, and walked them to the border of a country where they don't know anybody, they don't speak the language, and also knew that they were not just going to be welcomed with open arms, that there was going to be problems. Trump warned all of you. He told you, don't come. You're not coming in. And you came anyway. So now, who is to truly blame for what these little children, God bless them, it's heartbreaking, but who's to blame? It's not America's fault that they came anyway, knowing they weren't just going to be welcomed in with open arms. It's not. It's the parents who said, we're going to come anyway. We're going to get in. We're going to force our way in. We're going to throw bottles and rocks at the police officers and the authority figures and teach our children not to respect authority. I don't think that's a good parent. And I would submit to you that it's not America who's torturing these children, it's their own parents who made a decision that wasn't in the best interest of their child. I don't claim to know the kinds of places these people live in, that they feel that they should just pick up their kids and all their belongings and start walking to America. But I also hope that these people don't have rosy-eyed glasses on about what America is. America isn't easy. It's not easy to be successful in America. And when you are successful in America, the government will come in and make you just a little less successful. You will pay more for everything. You'll pay more for health insurance if you make a lot of money. You will pay more in taxes. You're not getting nothing for free. And God forbid, if your kids get sick, they probably will get health care. But if you get sick, you're going to know one American term real good. You're going to learn this word quickly. Go fund me. Because that's what American citizens do when they get sick in this country. And their health insurance won't pay for their bills, and they can't work because they're sick, and their boss fires them. They go to Go Fund Me. So if you learn no other English terms when you get to America, learn Go Fund Me. And then find a computer and learn how to use Go Fund Me, because you're going to need it. If you are an adult and you get diagnosed with cancer, or you get diagnosed with a chronic illness that costs $25,000 a year to maintain, like diabetes, or heart disease, or high cholesterol, you get a medication, you got to pay for it. You're going to pay for it out of your own pocket. I think some see America as this golden place where everybody can get ahead no matter what. Ask the people at GM who did everything right. They got up every day, they went to work, they put in their hours, they put in their overtime, did everything right, and now they don't have a job. They're worried about not how they're going to buy their children the Xbox for Christmas, they're worried about how they're going to feed their children. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How they're going to put clothes on their children's back. How they're going to pay the mortgage to keep a roof over their children's head. So I think it's important for anyone who wants to bring their children to the border, possibly have them tear gassed, be denied entry into our country, and be sent back to where you came from in the first place, that the grass isn't always greener. That there aren't as many jobs available with your job skills as you think there are. You're not going to walk into America and get the 4-bedroom house with the swimming pool and the beautiful 2-car garage overlooking the sea. You're not going to get that. You'll be lucky if you get a 1-bedroom apartment for 6 people at a price you can afford. And then you're going to be abused by your employer, who's going to say, you don't like your working conditions, I'll just call Inmigración. You will have no choices. You will not be able to choose what you do for a living. You're not going to be able to choose where you live, where your children go to school. You won't have as many choices as you believe you do, because even American citizens have no choices in many cases. And it's very sad. But I think you need to hear it. American children go to bed hungry at night. American workers get fired from their jobs for no fault of their own, just because corporate made a decision. The rich people the man, El Managerio, he decides he doesn't want them anymore, they get kicked to the curb. No more money, no more dinero coming into the house. People who were doing well a few weeks ago are now going to find themselves in the unemployment line, possibly in the food stamp line, in the welfare line. People who never wanted to use these things, simply because corporate, the rich people up in the big offices, oficerios grande, they made decisions that ruined people's lives. 15,000 people's lives. 15,000. I know, I don't speak Spanish. The rich people in America are greedy. The people who run the companies that you may find yourself working for are greedy. They're not going to pay you what an American makes to do the same job. They're going to pay you whatever they want, and if you complain, they're going to call immigration on you, and you're going to get booted out the country. They will always be able to hold that over you. We go to our grocery stores in America, and we get sick. We get sick because our lettuce and our meat is contaminated with E. coli. Do you know what E. coli is? E. coli is basically fecal matter. It's shit, and it's in our food. So if you think you're going to come to America and, go to the grocery store, look at all the choices, be careful. Because no one in America knows that food is bad until someone gets sick or dies from eating it. Then it gets recalled. We have cars in our country that are recalled every day. People are dying because the cars aren't safe. People are dying because trains don't have the proper stop system because it's too expensive. The big rich train people don't want to pay the money, so people are killed in train derailments. People are killed in bus crashes. People are killed by drunk drivers in our country. This country is not this magical place where everything is perfect. And remember, if any of you have ever seen The Wizard of Oz, those of you thinking that America is Oz, there was a lot of beauty in Oz, right? Beautiful. But then there was the Wicked Witch and her minions. And that part of Oz was ugly and evil. So don't think because you're leaving a country you feel you're not safe in that you're coming to America and you will be safe. Because nobody in America is guaranteed safety. Hell, we can't even get clean drinking water coming out of our faucet. We can't eat a romaine salad. Think about that. We have to be afraid every time we send our children to school that they might be shot by a classmate. Our children go to the movies. They get killed by a crazy guy with a gun. Remember that. And if you still want to come in, then I suggest this. Do it legally. Do it through the proper channels. Venidos a America. But know what you're getting before you make the trip. Political Paula, out.